Despite the diversity of materials to support teaching processes, plus the facilities to have them commercially, most teachers prefer to design or adapt their own elements. However, there are some advantages and disadvantages when designing these materials. Contextualization. As commercial materials on market, especially those produced for a global EFL market, are not designed taking into account the particular needs of specific groups in certain cultures. Modern course books are full of functions and dialogues based on situations that most foreign language students will never understand. This Anglo-centric phenomenon is the reason why many teachers design or adapt their own materials, as this allows them to take into account their particular needs and the learning environment. Individual needs of the students. Classrooms are places with heterogeneity in terms of context and culture, so teacher designing materials are an appropriate response to the thematic focus according to cultural issues, needs, experience, and the possibility of building based on their native language. Despite research suggesting that bilingual approaches are most successful in developing second language competence. So teacher-prepared materials permit not only incorporating elements of the learner's first language and culture, but also provide the opportunity to select texts and activities at exactly the right level for particular learners, to ensure appropriate challenge and levels of success, choosing from the range of possibilities, including topics, situation, notion, function, skills, etc. Personalization, which gives to homemade materials a personal touch to teaching, taking account of the learning styles of students to increase motivation and engagement in learning. Timeliness. It permits teachers to be updated with local or international events when designing their own materials. Organization. Course books are organized following identifiable principles and discernible patterns, which can be dull and boring, providing a coherent body of work to remember and revise from. On the other hand, teacher designing materials may lack overall coherence and a clear progression, with poorly focused activities being frustrating and confusing for learners. Quality. Quality is one of the most common criticisms leveled against teacher-made materials. This factor could make these materials seem to be unprofessional, especially those containing errors and poorly constructed, or with important elements inadequately covered. Another important problem will be the lack of clear instructions about how to make effective use of the materials, particularly instructions designed for students. Each teacher is responsible for planning and organizing each of his classes, should therefore know perfectly each of the subjects to be taught, and it is his obligation to use materials that will facilitate his students understand each of them. If these materials are not available or do not exist, every teacher should design them the most suitable way to the student's needs. These materials should be prepared with great dedication, using modern technology for the sole purpose of facilitating the learning process.